everyone, welcome to Nails by Mish. Today we're going to do a hard gel nail fill on my nails. So as you can see, I am just filing off the top layer of product. You might notice my bit looks like it's got like a ring of that yellow color on it, and that's because I did have some uncured product underneath when I was filing, and what happens is it just gets like jammed in the bit. But what I want you to take notice is as I'm filing, I'm always pulling in a downward motion. I'm never moving from side to side. I'm always going top to bottom, top to bottom, top to bottom. And that's just for a safety. If you move from side to side, you may run the risk of like skipping the bit over the client's hand, and I've done it in the past, and it's like scary for everyone because you like skip over their finger, and like, you know, you're not really gonna hurt them, but it's just like a scary motion because you know the bit is only supposed to be on the nail, it's not supposed to be touching their hands. And so these nails I had sculpted out of hard gel, and I just wanted to fill them and film it. I will be making a video of me sculpting my nails so you can see the process, because this is a self-leveling gel that is hard and it can be difficult to work with when you are sculpting nails. As you can see, just always pulling down, and just smoothing over just a little bit. See there, I'm going side to side. Doing that, you do run the risk of skipping over the nail. I do know my limits and I have a lot of control, so. And then this is a 180 grit arbor band, and I'm just using it to get that little bit of my nail that is not prepped yet. So I'm just running over it, and I'm just kind of smoothing out the rest of the nail. Always pulling down. Good. And now we're going to go over to my filing routine. So I do get some questions on how I make my almond nails. It's hard to tell because the camera is a little angled, but I am holding the file straight up and down, parallel or perpendicular, you could say, to the nail. And I'm starting in the corner and I'm like working it in so that I can get it on an angle. You want it almost to be a pointed nail shape, like a stiletto nail. But then I've kind of curve it down, and then you can see where it's like a bit bulky on the sides. I just go in and start filing and then working on smoothing it down, but always working in a straight up and down. The file's always straight, and then you don't want to work it on an angle half underneath the nail. So you can see on the side, I filed it, it's straight. On the other side, you can see it's not so straight, because that's what will happen when you're working with the file straight up and down. Then you want to just straighten the nail out. You always want it to look like it's almost growing straight out of the finger, if not a little bit upward, okay? It's not that nice looking when you have a nail growing down. You'll see, like, I watch Russian nail videos all the time. When nails grow pointed downward, you want to try and fix that for the client. And so all I'm doing right now is just debulking the edge of the nail, just so I can get an idea of the shape. This part is not really necessary in your filing routine when you're about to fill nails, because you're gonna have to finish file anyway. So I realize this step is a little bit redundant, but this is just my personal preference. I don't do this with every client. Most of the time I just skip over this, but these are my nails, and I just like to see how the shape is gonna be, and then it makes it a little easier when I am finished filing because the shape is pretty much there already. I'm just debulking the sides a bit, so you can see. Even though it hasn't been filled yet, they already look like they've been filled, but we're gonna put some product on them. And this is in real time. I didn't speed anything up. I just really wanted you to see the full process, at least just on one nail, and you can always rewind it, or you can skip over sections that are boring. Also, you'll notice I didn't do any cuticle work in this video. To be honest, when I am working sometimes, I just clip my cuticles while I'm working, so That's why you don't see me doing any cuticle work. I will, in my next video, show every single step. So now we're going to move on to the hard gel. So this is a round gel brush from the gel bottle, and I love it. I'm just here waking up the bristles with a little bit of alcohol on a pad. And then this is gel pot number 3. I think this color is so gorgeous. It is like a really nice pink, and it's a little translucent, so I just find it looks absolutely amazing on. So I'm just putting what's called a wetting layer, W-E-T-T, wetting layer down. And this product doesn't need a primer, and it doesn't need a base coat. The gel itself is the base coat. So I'm just going in with that layer, and I'm just filling right away. If you were doing a brand new set, you may want to put a layer of this down, really work it into the nail, cure it, and then do this whole process over again. Start with a wetting layer and then work your product in a large little like bubble like that, and then just start working it down the nail. I love this brush so much. It is so small, it gets right into like the edges there, and this product really self-levels nicely. I'm not trying to sell you on it, but I'm just letting you know like the gel bottle and gel pot works really well. So now I'm going in for my apex because I didn't have enough product there, and I'm just walking the product down. That's what that is. And I've got a super light touch. With gel, you really have to be like really light on the brush. So I'm just like working the product down. I do like that I was able to get this angle, because if you notice your product running a lot, or you find that there is like a little missing gap, so I'm just gently shifting the product down towards the apex to kind of smooth it all over. And then you'll see, kind of give you like a side view. And now I'm gonna do my pointer finger. So I wanted to show you 2 nails just to get an idea. So I'm just starting with my wetting layer here, working the product in exactly where I want it to go, because if I start off with this layer, the product will only go there and it will stop there. If you do hit the cuticle, you do run into points where the gel will run there because you already put the gel there. So that's why it's so crucial on this layer to just be so careful not to hit the cuticle, because when you do your next layer, which is a thicker bulb of gel, you want to make sure that it won't run into the cuticles. So here I just start and I kind of like spin it around. That kind of helps get out any bubbles, but this product really doesn't get air bubbles. So if you're looking for a product that doesn't have a lot of bubbles in it, this is it. I have worked with some other products that do have air bubbles in it sometimes, but this one you can see I'm just walking it down. It just flows nicely and blends really nicely. You can just see I'm trying to fill in the side there, and I'm gonna flip it over in a second, because on the tip I do have a little too much. So what I'm gonna try and do is work from the tip very gently and just pull the product back, because there's like a little dip in the nail and I want to fill that in. This helps make your apex the perfect structure and height. Sometimes if you're there too long, it can pull the product kind of excessively to the middle, but if you flip the hand over, you can watch it go down and then cure. So as you can see, it's still wet, and I'm like, oh, there's a little too much, so let's work it down. Gently, just pulling the product. There's like a little bit too much there. I want to fill in that little part down lower. If you do get a little bit of product in the cuticle like I did, you can always file that out. And I was just wiping it before curing. You can see how this process can be, you know, a little much. I don't necessarily have to do this that many times. However, I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so even though I know I'm going to be finish filing, if you're in a rush, do your best. Work this in a couple of layers as opposed to doing one big layer. And there you have it. I didn't finish file yet. So here we go. I put another 180 grit band on. And I'm seasoning it because I needed a new one. And I'm just going over that pointer finger, and now I'm just gently taking down a bit of the product. Normally I'll use that metal bit that you saw originally, but I didn't need much finish filing, so that's why I just went in with the arbor band. You can do either or, it's entirely up to you. And I like to just smooth everything over with a nail file because the file really, on the 150 side, because the 100 side is more heavier grit, you want to do a 150 or 180 side, and the 180 side will just smooth everything over. You can sharpen up your edges, make sure the end of the nail is nice and flush with the cuticles, flush with the tip. And I'm just wiping everything over with alcohol, and you're ready to paint these. There you go. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.